To script or not to script? That is the question. The answer is script it, baby, every single time. In order to avoid those rambling and unfocused videos, I call them video vomit, by the way, or to save you a ton of time, I should say, and to save you a ton of time in editing, you want to make sure that you have a script. And I've got you. The name of my company is Video Script Success, not Video Script Failure. So you are in good hands. And I'm going to show you exactly how I scripted this video right here and then how to record it. So stick with me until the end. Now, regardless of where you're posting, your video script really looks the same. You've got your title, your hook, your heart, and your CTA. And it's peppered in there with what I don't hear a lot of people talking about, the magical transitions. And your transitions are really like a magical bridge that make your video sound more like a conversation and less like a choppy dissertation, right? It brings you from one segment to the next and just makes your video flow a whole lot better. Now, before we hop into the actual parts of the video, the thing I want you to think about first is, what is the point of my video? What is the goal of my video? And what do I want my viewers to do? Because if you're not thinking through the end first, we're going to go back to that video vomit and there's going to be no point to your video. So really think about, what is the point of my video? Here on YouTube today, I want to show you how to write an effective video script. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to veer off. I'm not going to tell you anything else. We are here to write an effective video script. Okay, now that you know the goal of your video, let's hop into the first part of your video. And most people will tell you the hook. It's not, it's your title, because people won't even click if the title doesn't interest them. So they're not even going to get to your hook unless you have a compelling title. When you are titling things, it depends on your platform. For YouTube, your title has to match somebody's search, period. That's all. You are going to the YouTube and they will be brought to your video. So you want to make sure that your title matches what people are searching. If you're in social media, I like to go a little more tabloid, and I don't mean clickbait. I mean what will get somebody to stop their scroll. So what I teach are scroll stopping descriptions. So think about your audience and think about what would get them to stop their scroll. Okay, now we're going to jump into the next pillar, which is your hook. We've all heard about hooks, but what really is your hook? It is the first words out of your mouth in your video that keep your viewer watching. And what they're thinking is, what's in it for me? You need to let them know right off the bat that they are in the right place and they have made a good decision to stick with you. You have to convince them that they are in the right place and they should watch the rest of the video. So when you are writing your hooks, this is one thing, even if you're just doing bullet points, I have people write out their entire hook because you want to make sure that you get this right. People remember the first and last things you say in your video most. So this is where I want you to spend the most amount of time, is with your hook. What I don't want you to do is tell people who you are or start chatting about something that has nothing to do with the video. What was my hook? To script or not to script? Immediately you're like, what is the answer to that? Asking a question is a great hook. Here's some other examples of some great hooks, and you can just make them your own. You're wondering this? Well, I've got the answer. This is what you're talking about. In this video, you'll learn, it drives me crazy when people do this. Have you ever done this? Right? You're asking them another question. So for this video, I could have done a hook of, have you ever sat down to write a script and crickets, you have no idea what you're supposed to talk about because you don't know how to write a video script? Well, I've got you. Great hook. Does this sound familiar? And then go through some pain points, right? You are trying to get them into your world. Let them know that you understand them intimately. Now you get the idea. So go ahead in the comments. If you want to toss a hook my way, go ahead and write it out. I'll give you feedback. Yes, really, because I want you to get good at writing your hooks. Again, first part of the video, last part of the video are what people remember most. So let's spend the most time there. Now let's hop over to the heart of your video. I hear people call this the meat of their video, but that just sounds icky to me. So the heart of the video is your teaching. This is the juicy stuff that practically writes itself because you know this. So this is where you could just use bullet points. So are you going to do a listicle, the 5 things, and then you would go through each of those things. Now remember, as you move from topic to topic of those 5 things, you would have a transition sentence in there. And the transition, again, is that magical bridge that brings you from one thing to the next in a very conversational way. So I'm doing it here when I'm like, let's move from your hook to this. Let's go from here to here. Those are your transition sentences. It is not rocket science, my friend, but these are the important elements that I feel people leave out of their scripts, which make it seem more choppy and more like they're just a robot. Don't be a robot. Now, there's different content for each of the platforms. So this is where we're going to veer a little bit, because your content for YouTube is going to be different than your content for Facebook or LinkedIn. So let's dive into each of those and how I would approach it when I'm either bullet pointing or writing out the script for those. Okay, so let's talk about YouTube and Pinterest, because those are your search engines. So what are people looking for when you're teaching, when you get to your heart? It's the how. They are searching to learn how to do something, and you better teach it to them. Now, don't give away the farm. Don't give them everything, because that's your course or your coaching or what you want them to pay for, but you want to give them a win. You don't want to have them show up on your channel and then you don't tell them what they're looking for. They're going to click away really, really fast. So make sure that you've thought through, like, what is the win? What is the one thing that they can leave with today and they feel like they got something from me? So that is YouTube. Then when we talk about Facebook or Instagram, those are your social sites. So we're teaching the what and the why. So if I were talking about scripts over on social, I would talk more about whether they need them or not, and that different platforms have different content. That opens up the conversation of like, well, what content, right? And then I can send them to my YouTube video where I show them the how, where I'm showing you how to actually script your video. And on LinkedIn, this is your authority builder. So your videos over there, the content you're sharing over there is you establishing yourself as the authority. So think about the content and what you're teaching or what you're presenting. So over there, you want to make sure that you are establishing yourself as the expert we both know you are. Now, with each of the platforms in mind, whichever platform you're writing for, I do something called chunking. So quite a bit of my script is not written out in the middle part. They're just highlights or they're just bullet points because I know what I need to teach. I write it in chunks because people learn and absorb the information better. So just tiny chunks of information that get me to the 5 things, the 3 pillars, whatever it is. And then that's the way I also record it, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Okay, next step, your CTA. What could that be? Oh, it's your call to action. So what do you want your viewer to do next? Remember in the beginning, we talked about your goals and what the point of the video was. Well, now we want them to do something. Here's a little word of caution. We want them to do one thing. A confused mind says no. So please stop asking people to click and subscribe and comment and download and go here and do this. It's overwhelming. Just tell your viewers to do one thing. Here's a little YouTube trick for your CTA is you don't want to be wrapping up your video and saying, okay, now we're done, because then they're going to click away. They're all done. They got the information they want. What you want to do is you want to tell them to go watch the next video, because again, YouTube is all about watch time, not clicks. And so we want people watching more and more of your videos. Okay, I promised you I was going to show you the exact script that I used for this and how I scripted those out. And listen, it changes, right? As you get better at scripting, you may have to script way more in the beginning and then you get a flow, or you work with an editor and you don't need to put in as much information for the editor to know what to edit in or edit out. I have gotten to the point with my editor, hi Amanda, to the point where I don't have to really tell her the B-roll. She just listens to the content and realizes, oh, this is a place that I can put some B-roll, like a funny GIF. Okay, so here we are inside of my actual YouTube script, the video that you are watching right now. Notice at the top, I have a goal because we want to teach viewers how to script on their own. And then we want to have the title. So this title has been researched by my YouTube editor. So we know that people are searching that. So again, on YouTube, you want to make sure that your title matches what people are searching. And again, my hook, to script or not to script, that is the question. I want to make sure that people stay. right? Then we move down, and here's what I was talking about, transition. I want to transition to the actual parts of the script. And then this is where I just kind of bullet out. Now, I've been scripting for a while, and so I know what I want to talk about. But notice in between here, I should have bolded this for you, right? Transition, transition, transition to the next piece. This is the bridge I was talking about that gets you from one section to the next section. And then also we want to make sure we have the CTA. Now, I also write out my entire CTA, and I have a next up. Now, this is where YouTube gets a little bit different, because on YouTube, I want to keep you watching, right? So I'm going to send you to another video. You'll see. And in YouTube, the other thing you want to do is you want to do a little bit of peppering and teasing. So here's where in my script, I would write in stay till the end. Stay to the end. Why? Because I'm going to show you the exact script that I use, right? Or whatever it is that you're going to keep in the end. I could have said stay to the end and I'll show you how to record. And again, that's where I'm sending you to the video on how I record all of my videos. So that is it. It's not magical. Again, I script out the hook and I script out the CTA, but that's it. The rest of it is bullets, and you'll get better and better and better. Okay, now you know how to script your videos depending on the platform. Now what I want you to do is go on over here and watch this video, because it's going to tell you how I record each and every one of my videos. And yeah, I use Zoom. Okay, until next week, let's dance them out, Amanda. Let's dance them out. Oh, let's dance them out.